our YouTube channel and on the website. And also we can get this distributed out if anybody needs access to the resources today, because I put it together sort of like a information pack that you can use to follow lots of useful hints and tips in here. So really quickly, who am I? My name is Sam. I'm bringing you this presentation on behalf of the Sussex Digital InReach team. Give you some more information at the end on how you can contact us and me and get onto future sessions. But this session really is all around NHS Mail and specifically common questions and obviously the multi-factor authentication. So I've put this together, basically built off of lots of feedback and working with many different people in supporting NHS Mail. And I get lots of questions every day over a very substantial period of time now. And I've basically, as I said, put together the most common queries that I get in order to help support people with troubleshooting. And if you come across any common errors or difficulties, or if there's anything you need to do in NHS Mail, how you can do that. And then the second half of the session, moving into that multi-factor authentication, or abbreviated to MFA. And the reason for that is we are now starting to see more of a rollout of MFA across different areas regarding NHS Mail and becoming more of a requirement. And so rather than eventually down the line, you suddenly get a message saying you need to have multi-factor authentication by a deadline, so you don't panic. You can get it in place. And I'm just going to go through all of the benefits of it. And there are some huge advantages to having multi-factor authentication, not only from an organization standpoint, but in a personal standpoint as well. It's something that you should be exploring. You probably already do have in various areas, and we'll dive into the reasons for that. So I'm just going to click through on here if my screen will allow me. There we are. So we're going to start off, as I say, with NHS Mail common questions. So a good place to start here is really where you can go for support, because there is a lot of support available to you, and there are a lot of self-service options or people you can reach out to who can solve some of the issues that you may be facing or some of the things that you want to do in order to service NHS Mail or others in your organisation. And to begin with, self-service. So self-service, there's a couple of options available to you here. I've put links to those on this slide. The first one, obviously being just NHS Mail login. So when you first go to that login screen, you put your NHS Mail email address and password in. Once you log in, at the top of the screen, you will see there is a blue toolbar. And on that toolbar, you will have some options available to you to navigate around the screen. You've got some help options, some support options. We'll look in a bit more detail in a moment into some of those that you can use, but it's a good place to go first. Now, if you don't know what you're looking for when you log into NHS Mail, the next best place to go is the support hub that's available to you. So again, I've popped a link here. I'm just going to go across. I'm just going to pull my screen across so you can actually see this. I'll just close my emails off. So this is the support hub, and it really is a knowledge base of everything they've compiled together on NHS Mail. And you can search in here any general questions that you might have. So maybe it is, how do I reset my password? Whatever it might be. And it will take you to the relevant articles. Now, you can just go straight through to the knowledge base. And you can search for the broad topic of exactly what you need help with. So again, going down that password theme, we've got passwords and unlocks. So you can go into here. And then again, they have a number of different articles in here, such as how do you self-service password resets, change your password, how do you unlock accounts. So really, every solution available is in here, and everything I will touch on is available in here for you. We also have service status and known issues. So sometimes, and it does happen, rarely, but it does happen, there might be a national issue. So I've had it where people have come to me with a query. I've looked into it, and there has been a national issue on that particular day, and it is something that is known and is being looked at. So it doesn't affect just that one individual. It is something that's being worked on. In that case, I just feed it back to them that that's what's happening. You can keep on top of this and have a look by going through on these options in here. But lots of different options available to you, and also registering for an NHS Mail, and also all of the Microsoft 365 programs that are available to you alongside NHS Mail. So when you have an NHS Mail login, you also get the 365 package. And again, there's lots of articles on there to support you in how you can make the most use case of that. So this is the next best place to go to if you don't want to wait for someone to pick up something or respond, or you don't want to go onto the phone or send an email and wait for a response. But we all know time constraints, and it can be very hard getting on the phone or sending emails sometimes, and actually finding who the best person to find a solution is. And in that case, the next best place, in this case, I call it the first point of contact, would be your local admin or the service desk. Now, one point I will make here is a very substantial, well, the majority of care homes don't actually have a local admin. It's usually the much larger organizations or multi-site care homes that have local admins in place because they have the IT infrastructure, and it was set up that they had a local admin. But a lot of care homes don't. And in that case, as I say, we'll get on to what you will do in that instance. But if you do have a local admin, I thought it was important to put in here because quite often, if you go straight to the local service desk, they will just direct you back to your local admin. So it's a good idea. And again, it saves you time waiting for that response. So how do you find your local admin if you have one? And again, don't panic. As I said, the majority don't have one. But if you do have one, again, you just log into the NHS Mail portal. And then as soon as you're in there, this is that blue toolbar that you have at the top of the screen. You just need to go to the help option, and then it displays these options here. So my organization, get help, there's a few more options there, but the one that you want to click is my organization. So once you've clicked my organization, that will then display a list of your local administrators. And all you need to do to get their contact details is just choose one of them. A tip here, if they have primary local admin next to their name, they are probably the best one to go to because they have much more access controls. But again, that's very rare, that one. But just choose a local admin. It'll give you their contact details, and then you can either just phone them or drop them an email and tell them your query, and then they can go ahead, take that on board, and they can go ahead and support you. Now, as I say, a lot of people, a lot of care homes don't have local admin. So what do you do then? Well, in that case, you need to contact the support help desk, who act as a local admin for those organizations that don't have a local admin. Now, there's two ways you can contact them. You can either phone them, so I've put a phone number in here, or you can drop an email to this email address. Now, I am in contact with this help desk every day, probably multiple times a day, servicing and supporting care homes. So they do get back to you. And what happens when you when you send an email to the help desk, you'll get an acknowledgement email back. So it'll be an automatically generated email just acknowledging that they've received your request. So it's a receipt, and they'll give you a incident number. So it begins with INC for incident, and then it'll have a number next to it. It's a good idea just to note that down, save it somewhere, just in case you need to pick up that query later on in the future, or if your ticket closes because it times out, you can then just put that in there as a reference, and they can pick up your last ticket or see the progress of anything you worked on in the past, which is something that I often do. So I save all the incident numbers in there. Now, as I say, you will get an acknowledgement. They do have a workaround time limit that they work on certain queries. Again, you will then need to wait. You will then get an email which will give you a solution. So in that email, they will list exactly what you need to do in order to resolve it. If you need to respond to that in that same email, you will see quite clearly one of the boxes. It will tell you to click on a link in that box to send them a secure message back. So you just don't just reply to the email, click on that link. It will then take you to a page where it will then send them a reply to that incident. That's how you reply. Say the solution isn't what you need, or it doesn't fit quite with what you've requested, or they need more information. You click on there, send them a response. Also, what can happen as well is again, quite often they time out. So you do need to respond usually within 3 days to one of these tickets. It can be quite difficult, especially if you go out of work for a period of time. The ticket will drop, and that's when it's a good idea to have that incident number saved, so you can just, again, send another email to the help desk, drop that incident number in there, and just explain that the ticket was closed. You still need additional support on there. So again, the support help desk, they will be able to service you with most problems if you don't have a local admin or a primary local admin. And again, extremely useful. Sometimes what can happen is you might get an artificial intelligence generated response, which again isn't quite what you were actually requesting support with. And in that case, just send them a reply just stating that that's not the support you required, and then usually somebody will then email you back. Also, what can happen as well is they can escalate the ticket. So you might get a response a few days later saying it's been sent through to the second line, it's been sent through as an escalation. Again, you do need to wait. That can take a bit longer because now it goes to a specialist team who will investigate it in more detail, and that's usually for the very complex queries that we have around NHS Mail. So again, just give it some time. If you are really time pressured, do phone them. There is a number there that you can phone, and you will just reference the incident number, and then they'll be able to support you from there. So again, very useful tool to have available. Now, what I will say here is if you are really struggling, so you've tried to self-serve, you've gone through to the support hub, you've seen you don't have a local admin, you've gone through to the help desk, and you find it's going back and forth, and you are really struggling to get a solution. You just don't have the time to deal with that. What I would say then is I can then come in to support you. So this is where I then would step in and basically take that on and liaise with the NHS help desk or NHS Mail team on your behalf. And I'll put my email at the end. So if you are really struggling, just drop me an email just with the issue you are facing, and I will try and support you as best I can. And that again, as I say, that is something that I do on a day-to-day basis in supporting people with those quite complex queries on NHSmail, people who are really struggling with that. Now, common queries. So that's all the support available to you. And a lot of the time I am directing people to the relevant support because I myself, I don't have the security to act. I can't act on your behalf. I don't have the security available to me to act on behalf of your organization. So I can't bypass their security measures. So a lot of the time you do need to make that proactive contact yourself. So that is where I will be handing people off. But probably the most common query that I get is that people are unable to access their NHS Mail account. And this is something that I do receive multiple times a day from various organizations, people who have lost access to their account, they can't access them, or people in their organization can't access their accounts anymore, for me to look into it. Now, what does it mean if you can't access your account? Well, most of the time the account has been deleted. So what that means is basically, if you don't log into your NHS Mail account once every 30 days, so within a 30-day period, the account will deactivate. What happens to that account is it then moves into what they call a deleted pool, and it will sit in that deleted pool for another 30 days. And basically it's in there to give the person the option to restore the account, or the organization to restore the account. If they don't do that in that additional 30 days, the account will then be deleted. And once it's deleted, that same account cannot be recreated, and that same email address reuse is not possible. It's gone. It's permanently deleted. And that's probably the most common one that I get. It's either in the deleted pool and needs to be restored, or it's been permanently deleted. So what do you do if you find that basically the account is deleted or permanently deleted, or someone in your organization, their account might be deleted, or they might not be able to access their account? What you need to do then is you need to have somebody who has access to that shared mailbox in your organization to send an email directly from the shared mailbox to the help desk requesting that either the account is restored, so you give them the account email address and you request that it is restored, or if it has been deleted, you request that they add a new account for you into the shared mailbox. Now, again, the reason I can't do that for you, or you can't do that from a personal email address, is for security measures. They need the shared mailbox to actually email the help desk, just to confirm that it is you. And then that shared mailbox will then request for the person to be added. So again, very simple. If someone in your organization still has access to NHS Mail, they just log in and they send an email directly from the shared mailbox to the help desk, and they just state what they need support with in there. And it really is that simple. And then they will, again, raise it as a ticket, pick up the request. Now, if you don't want to go down the email option, you can phone them, but you do need to phone them from a site registered number. So again, just restate that. It can't be from your personal phone. If it might be that your mobile phone is registered to your site, but it has to be the site registered number, and you need to phone from that number the help desk. Again, if you don't know what the number is, you can just phone them. And they will usually just go through some security and actually tell you which number it is. And then you can go ahead and call from there, or they'll be able to service you over the phone anyway. Now, I do often have the issue come to me where someone goes ahead, they try access their NHS Mail, they can't. They tell me that somebody else is on the NHS Mail, but they can't access it either. When I do a bit of investigation, it comes across that actually everybody has lost access because nobody's been using it. And so no one can access the shared mailbox anymore. And so no one can send an email from the shared mailbox requesting that people get added on. So if no one can access the shared mailbox, in that case, again, you do need to phone from the site registered number. And again, if you don't know what the site registered number is, just phone them up. They'll go through some security with you to confirm you are who you are, and then they can service you from there. So again, in most cases, it is sending an email to that help desk or phoning them. But again, if you are requesting that people's accounts are restored or they're added to NHS Mail, you need to send an email from your shared mailbox requesting that someone is either added or an account is restored. And that goes for if you want to add new people to NHS Mail as well. So again, you can add up to 10 accounts on a shared mailbox. And I get a lot of people saying, we've got a new person in the organization. Can you add them to the NHS shared mailbox? Again, just need to send an email from the shared mailbox requesting that those people get added on, and they will then email you back telling you what details they require from you. Usually it's just a full name, UK registered mobile number, their alternate email address, and the access they require. So if it's a user or an owner, but they will tell you that in the email, and then you literally just respond to them with those details, and they'll go ahead and they'll create an account for that person and add them onto the mailbox for you. Now, another very common query I get is how does someone sign up for NHS Mail to begin with? So how do they actually register for it? I get a lot of these queries every day. So again, email usually, I don't know how to register for NHS Mail. How do I sign up? I want to sign up. I've never used it before. Again, it's a very streamlined process now, which just involves you filling out a form. Just to highlight, you must meet or exceed DSPT rating of entry level. So I've put that at the bottom there in order to access NHS Mail. And if you don't have that, we can support you with that as well. So again, I'll leave our details at the end so you can reach out to us. We can get you DSPT. We can support you with DSPT, and then you can go ahead and start filling out that form. So I've just put in here some of the details that you actually need. Again, you can get up to 10 members of staff NHS Mail accounts, and then you literally just need to fill out a form. So I've popped the form in here. We're just going to go across to that. So this is what it looks like. You'll get a question here. Do you already have an NHS Mail account? I will just say no. And then from there, I'll ask you if you have the DSPT required. So I'm just going to put yes. And then it will start asking you for CQC information. And you just go through and you start popping in your organization details and then go next and follow it through like that. Once you've supplied all the information, that you will then complete the form, and those people then get their NHS Mail login details. When they first log in, they do need to change their passwords. But as I said, it is a very streamlined process now. We just need to go ahead, fill out that form, and then they will take it on from there. So that's how you get registered to begin with. If you already have NHS Mail or your organization has previously had NHS Mail, it will tell you in here, if you start putting in the information, it will say you already have a shared mailbox. In that case, it's best to contact the help desk. And again, they put their email up here. So again, very nice and straightforward. If you do get really stuck, you just email them and they'll be able to support you. Get stuck with that or it gets nowhere, reach out to me and I'm sure I can support you with that. So I'm just going to go back across to my PowerPoint. And again, you can use all of this. I can get this sent out to you if it's something that you need support with. All of the details on how you actually register and sign up is on this site as well. So I've put a link in there as well for you. So again, you can use that as a resource. Everything is available to you. But that is really wrapping up that side of common queries. As I say, the most common questions I get are regards to accessing the NHS Mail account or adding new people on or actually signing up in general. As I say, most queries, again, can be solved by your local admin or the help desk. But if you are stuck, please do contact me. So those are the options out there available to you. But we'll just leave a moment for any additional questions. If anyone does have any questions, please do either type it in the chat or raise your hand on Zoom. I'll try my best to answer it here. I don't know the answers to everything. And if I don't know the answer, I will just take your details and go and try and find out for you and then contact you later on. But I'll just give you a few moments. Does anybody have any questions at all? We'll just give it a few moments in case anybody's typing or if anybody wants to raise a hand if you've got any questions regarding NHS Mail. Just going to have a look through. No, it doesn't look like we've got any hands up. And again, I'll just give it a few more seconds in case anybody's got any questions that they need to type. And again, as we go throughout the meeting, if you do have any questions at all with regards to anything I'm touching on, please do pop it into the chat or raise your hand and I could come across to you. Okay, so I think we will move on. So that takes us across to multi-factor authentication. It probably you're probably hearing a lot around MFA at the moment, and for some people, it probably sends a shudder down your spine. But it is actually quite simple once you know how to do it, like all things. And I'll go through how to actually get it set up. However, we know there can be problems if you lose devices or you lose access to a device, can make it very complicated to actually get it back. I've had the experience before where I've had multi-factor authentication for something on one device and I never put it on a backup device and I've broken that device and then it leads to a whole problem me trying to get back. So, but we'll touch on all that as we go through. Now, what is multi-factor authentication? It's also known as two-step verification as well. So you might have heard that phrase. It really is that second step to log in. It's basically an additional way of checking that you are really you when you're logging into an account. So basically you'd need an email address, your password as you usually would, and then it has a second form of authentication. And in the case of NHS Mail, it would be an authenticator app, a text message, or a phone call. Why is it so important? Well, I've just put some stats here, which you can find on the NHS website with regards to multi-factor authentication. And basically up to 80% of data breaches can be prevented by simple actions like enabling multi-factor authentication. Over 93% of healthcare organizations experience a data breach from 2017 to 2020. Again, slightly old figures there, but these figures are still relevant. I was looking at some national statistics earlier, just as a general industry perspective, so a corporate perspective. It wasn't just healthcare, and the vast majority had experienced data breaches in the last few years, and more than 99.9% of accounts compromised by cyber attacks can be blocked using multi-factor authentication. So you can see how significant that is. If the majority of organizations are being targeted and having data breaches, their data is getting leaked, or it's able to be accessed by people outside the organization, you need to have something in place to protect yourself, the organization, and those people who are part of the organization. Again, it could be staff, residents, whoever it might be. You need to have something in place to protect everybody. And multi-factor authentication does a very good job of dealing with this. So usually what will happen, and again, I'll just touch quickly on this, is that cyber attacks on electronic health records and other systems, they obviously pose that risk to patient privacy, because hackers could access that sensitive information, and then we know they can cause harm to patient safety and care delivery. Hackers, they will use various methods to attack. I do run a session on cybersecurity, so if it's something you want to look at going forward, please do check if we ever have that on our agenda, the cybersecurity. I dive into much more detail on this, how they actually launch their attacks, and how you can protect yourselves from it. But hackers will use things like ransomware viruses to hold medical records or devices hostage, risking your access to vital tools, information. And this is, again, why multi-factor is so important, because if the hacker, cyber criminal, whoever it is, they have hold of your password and email address, even if they have those, they still won't be able to get through because they need that second step. And it is only something that you have. So as we said, an authenticator app on your phone, a text message, so you would need your phone, or a phone call. Again, you need your phone. So in order to respond to those, and that's why they can't get through. And we've probably all been subject to this. Again, this doesn't just apply to NHS Mail. This applies to all different areas of our life. Cyber criminals will use a technique called vishing, where they'll phone you, pretending to be somebody they are not. And usually when these cyber criminals are trying to get hold, if you have multi-factor authentication in place, these cyber criminals will have your password, email address, but they need that second step. So what they'll do is they'll try and phone you, pretending to either be, if it's banking related, police, HMRC, there are some common ones that we see. They'll pretend to be those people. They'll try and build rapport with you, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to get hold of that second step. And usually the phone call will go through, they'll convince you that they are this person, and then they'll say, okay, I just need, you're going to get a one-time passcode sent to your phone now. And what they're basically doing is they are trying to log into your account. They generate the passcode. You'll then get that come through your phone. Maybe it's a text message, maybe it's on your authenticator app, and they'll lead you through what to do, and then they'll ask you for that code. You never give that code to anybody. That second step is only something that you know. And if a organization does need it, they will only usually ask you for 1 to 2 digits of, usually starting with a 4-digit, can go up to more, code. So they will only ask you for 1 or 2 of those numbers. They will never ask you for the full thing. And if somebody is asking you for that full code, you need to hang up and report it. And you need to get on your account, change your password, recover it, whatever you need to do, because it's likely they do have access. They just need that second step in order to get all the way through. So if anyone you know or yourself are getting targeted by people calling you up, pretending to be somebody and asking you for an authentication code, it's a scam. They're trying to get into your account. So that's where those phishing attacks happen. As I said, multi-factor authentication is so important because you need to physically be hold your device so in order to get in, and that's why it's so safe. So multi-factor authentication with regards to NHS Mail, there's 3 ways that you can set this up. So either a mobile app, so it'll be an authenticator app, so an actual application on your phone that you download, and then it will generate codes for you every time you log into it. And then you just literally, once you've done your email address password, you just type in that code. So you need to go into your phone, go to your authenticator, you'll get a code pop up, just type that code in, and then it'll log you in. You can also select to have a text message sent to you. So again, once you put your email address and password in, it will then generate a text message to your phone with a code. And again, just pop that code in. Or you may get a phone call. So again, it'll be like an automated phone call. You just pick that up and it will then generate a passcode to you, or it will confirm that you've picked the phone up. Again, there's many different ways that this works in terms of the phone call. It never usually is an actual person speaking to you. It's a system. It can be you just picking up the phone, and then that will then log you in because it's verified it is you. What is recommended is that you use the Microsoft Authenticator app for NHS Mail. The reason for that is you do have access to the Microsoft 365 package as part of NHS Mail. And it's more secure, the mobile app as well in general. So if it isn't Microsoft, but if you're using a different mobile app, it is more secure, because if you do lose your phone, it immediately eliminates the text message and phone call options because they're related directly to that phone number. Again, you then need to go ahead and go through the whole process of getting a new phone, retrieving your number, going through all of that in order to get those. With the mobile app, you can usually get a new application in place, log into your account if it's Microsoft. So you just log into your Microsoft account on your new phone, and then it will then transfer the information across and generate the approval on the app for you. So I personally would recommend, and it is also recommended by the NHS, to go with the mobile app as an option. And in this case, recommended that you go with Microsoft Authenticator because you have the login with NHS Mail. So again, very quickly, Authenticator app, I've just put a logo for Microsoft Authenticator app if you need to look for that in the App Store. Again, you just need to go to your App Store, whatever it might be, type in Microsoft Authenticator app, it'll be that logo, and you need to download that one. Text message, again, as I say, just text message sent to your phone, and it will have that verification code. And then a phone call, again, an automated phone call is made to the mobile number registered, prompting the user to press either some keys. In this case, with NHSmail, it will prompt you to press a key on your keypad. So on your screen, if you look at it, if you've got a smartphone, it will tell you to press a button, and you'll need to press it. Again, usually the hashtag it'll tell you to press, but it can be other options on there too. So those are the 3 options. How do we set up MFA? So I've included some step-by-step on here. First one I'm just going to highlight is how to actually self-enroll. One, you might need to go to self-enroll, or you might be prompted on the NHS portal. So when you actually go through to the NHS portal and log in, you'll see it says, again, it will tell you to register or sign up to multi-factor authentication. You just click on that, and then it will take you through how to do that. I've included a short video that I recorded in here. There is some background noise on that video. I've also included the link as well. But again, first step is to enable it on your account. So you just sign into your NHS Mail account and take you through to this dashboard. So once you've gone log in, we'll just go through to the next step. Oh, that's taken me through to the next slide. So bear with me a second. We're going way ahead of ourselves here. So again, just following the steps on here, and you can use this presentation. We can get this sent out to you to support. Again, we'll just wait for that. So step 2, enter your NHS Mail account login details like you would on the dashboard as normal. And then once you go through, you go to profile, my profile. So like we're looking for on that blue toolbar at the top of the page, just click on my profile. And then in my profile, you have that self-service option. Again, this is quite small, do not worry. Once you've gone through self-serve, they have set up for self-enroll for MFA. So you just go through there, click confirm, and then that will enroll you for multi-factor authentication. It'll then give you a confirmation that you've done that. Once you've had that confirmation, you can then go ahead and set up MFA in one of those 3 ways that we've just discussed. Now, what I've included in here is I've included some details pulled straight off of the support website, which walk you through exactly how you can sign up for how you actually get MFA in place once you've enrolled. And again, you can watch these videos. We won't watch them in full. The reason is because there's a lot of space in between these videos. It's basically a walkthrough, so you can have this video playing and you can set it up yourself as you go through. So again, these I've included one for each of the steps. This one, how to register for MFA on the app. So this one is the Microsoft Authenticator app. It tells you which place to go to, so either the App Store or Google Play. Once you've gone through there, downloaded the app, it will then tell you how to actually tie the 2 together. So it'll get you to sign in. And again, once you've clicked sign in, it will then give you a security notice. So you just need to read that. As I say, either you can click enroll for multi-factor authentication in here, as we stated before, or you can go through to that self-service way to enroll through self-service. So there's 2 ways you can do it. Again, this video just covers all of that for you. So you don't need to worry about remembering exactly what I've said here, because these videos will walk you through in detail how you can do those. And as I said, I won't go through this whole video. It is a 5-minute video. As I said, it is a walkthrough. So this will tell you exactly how you, once you have the Authenticator app, how you go through and you link that Authenticator to your NHS Mail. And once you've done that, you'll be sorted. So once you log into NHS Mail, it will then prompt you to get a code from the Authenticator app to log in. And once you've got that code, you'll then be able to just log in from there. If you do struggle with this, or you have any problems, again, it's something people face. They actually lose access to that second step. Again, they've got some additional details that you can use here. So either you can go across to the support website here, or again, you can raise a ticket to the help desk like we mentioned before. And again, they put that same phone number and email address that I've gone through on this session already. So as I said, I've included each of the methods. So you've got text message as well. So another video which you can click and play. And also finally, that phone call option as well, and how you can set up the phone call option. So you have access to either of those, any of those 3. Again, another question that I often get is, how do I change my preferred method of multi-factor authentication? So you might have chosen to use the phone call or text message, and you've just heard me say I'd recommend the app. Again, having any of them in place is absolutely fine. The only reason I recommend that is it is slightly easier to have the Microsoft app if you were to, say, destroy your phone or lose your phone, or it gets wiped for whatever reason, or you lose access to that number. That's just my preference. And also NHSmail have guided to that. You can use all 3 are absolutely fine. But what I said is you might want that other option instead. And again, I've included a short video in here how you can do that. Again, there is some background noise on the video, but I've just muted it. And this will walk you through step by step how to actually do that. So once you've gone in, you just need to click, I want to set up a different method. And then you just click change up here. And once you click change, it will then take you through to the method you want to choose. So you can see this one has phone call, notification, or hardware token. So it's got different options. You just click that drop down, choose the option you want. Again, it might be a call or text to a different number, so you can choose those as well or add those on. Once you've selected your default method, you just click confirm, and then that'll be in place for you, and you've just changed your method. So nice and simple. Again, if you're really struggling, just send the help desk either a phone call or an email. And then what I've included right at the end here is the website on all of the information that I have just gone through. So this has those self-enroll options on here. It also has those videos as well. We'll put a link to this directly into the chat now because it does contain all three of those videos. So I'm just going to pop that into the chat for you. That's in there now. So if you don't want my presentation sent out, that link is a very useful one to have, a very useful link to save, as it runs through everything that I've just gone through with regards to MFA. And then finally, as I say, just for some further support. So as I said, Sussex Digital team have brought you this presentation today. We run lots of different sessions. We can also support with, as I said, DSPT, NHS Mail, proxy ordering, really all things technical. And you just need to go across to our website that I've put on here. So it's the sussexdigitalteam.co.uk. We also have a link directly to our Eventbrite page. So again, please do look out for any future sessions because again, we run sessions on lots of different topics. And as I said in there, I run cybersecurity ones, which goes into real deep dives on cybersecurity, run sessions on DSPT, NHS Mail, proxy ordering, again, all things technical. So you can check that link. Please do have a look for future sessions on the agenda, and you can book on there or go across to our website and have a look. And then finally, my email. So I've put my email on here. Please do feel free to reach out to me if you are struggling with any of these things, and I can jump in and support you. I've put in my email into the chat as well, so you'll all have access to that. And you can go ahead and click on there.